Okay, welcome to a very special episode of Charlie's Desk. Today on the desk we have the A-79, and I'm just going to let it speak for itself for a second. And then I'll get into the subject of today's video. Maximum amount of music I can play on YouTube without getting in trouble. Let me describe what's on the desk today. I had to change my tripod setup because this is the largest object that's been on Charlie's desk, and the A-79 is a phonograph. It is a record player. It was sent out by the National Library Service for the Blind and Physically Handicapped. And it's from the 70s. The A-70 was produced in 1970, and the 79 sometime after that, and then the A-80, that was the end of these records players, and they switched to cassettes. So yeah, if you didn't have a record player of your own, the Library of Congress would send a record player out to you. So for all those folks who have got their talking books off of BARD, in the olden days, actually since starting in 1931 is when they started thinking about talking books for the blind and making that stuff happen. But I want to talk a little bit more about the A-79. It's a beautiful lime green. The other thing on the desk is a lemon, just to demonstrate the contrast of it is very lime green. It's a plastic suitcase. The plastic is textured, sort of like a low-key avocado, and it is 15 inches wide, and then it goes 11 inches back, and it's about 8 inches high, and it's sort of hexagonal, right? The bottom portion of the suitcase tapers down, and the lid portion tapers up. And when you lift up the lid, the speaker is in the back. Everything's green inside. And then there is sort of the platter for the record. So I'm gonna remove the Stevie Wonder record that's on there. Once I can pick up the sleeve, which blew down. So talking books are one of my favorite things, and I knew them as books on tape. I'm always calling them books on tape. Now they're just called audiobooks, right? But talking books for the blind started out in 1931 because of it was an act. Oh, the Pratt-Smoot Act. Right? The Pratt-Smoot Act starts allocating some money to figure out the feasibility of talking books for the blind, because not everybody reads Braille, right? Some people lose their sight later in life, and it's a little harder to learn Braille, so maybe they didn't do it. So in 1932, American Foundation for the Blind, it was for the blind at that time, establishes a studio to investigate the viability of talking books, because in 1932, they had a count of 85,000 people who didn't read Braille. And before that, they had done this radio campaign starting in 1924 to try and get radios to people who were blind and who, needed some entertainment. But there's a lot of cool things that happen because of the talking book program. And one of the innovative things that's really cool is the LP, as we know it, the lighter sort of shellac records. Before they became commercially available, that's what talking books were sent around on, because before that, they were wicked heavy. They would be on 12-inch records that you could only have 15 minutes aside. And so you would need like 20 records for like a short novel, and then for something longer, it would be just crates of records. And I was talking with one of my friends who was getting audiobooks since he was a little kid, and he's older than me, so he got them on vinyl when he was a kid. And yeah, he said like they had metal boxes that were just like the size of the records, and they would send things, because he was getting them since he was a little kid. So yeah, the shellac records, LPs, right, that you could play at 33 1/3 speed. Those are, before they're available to pop music, they are available to people who are blind. And I went to, and this, just another Charlie's desk thing, is what's on the desk is this little screwdriver. It is clear plastic handle with red on the outside, and a black portion of plastic that surrounds like the metal part of the flathead screwdriver. And it was the only tool I needed to fix this thing, right? So these have like a double needle that you can flip back and forth. I'm gonna lift the arm up now, right? So you can lift it all the way up, and at the top of the arm, I guess where the hand would be, where the needle goes, there's 2 screws on the A-79, and you can take them off, and there's a grounding wire. And then I just flipped the needle over. When I first put the needle down, it was like skittish and skidded across and made weird sounds. And I didn't have any records with me because I do have some records, but they're at my parents' house. We didn't have like room for a record player where I live. But since I started Charlie's Desk and I saw this bad boy on the internet, I went for it. It was $40. Said it was broken. It is not broken. It works. The other nice detail about it, other than the fact that it's a beautiful lime green, is there's some braille markings on it in grade 2. Off and on switch is marked in braille. There's braille dots marking the different speeds, 33 and 18. And you know, it's just cute. Oh, there's braille, there's a tone knob, there's a volume knob. And that's it. And then there's kind of a nice cord that's like about, I think it's 6 feet, that just coils out of the back of it and pushes back in, and it clips up. And I'll put the record down so you can hear what it sounds like when it clips. But it's too small for the record, for it to be closed with a record in it, right? That's how cute it is. So what's nice about the handles is, instead of like being the ones that you like snap on and off, these rotate on and off. Oh, I gotta go the other way. So listen to that. Because they would send this through the mail. Thank you, post office. Hashtag post office. Oh, I feel like I have to do a bunch of shout outs before this video gets too long. So I want to do a shout out to Stereo Jacks. I was like, I would like to do a safe social distance pickup of some records. This is how much I want to spend. Can you select for me an interesting array of, you know, blind or visually impaired artists, or artists who are visually impaired or blind, or who were formerly known as blind or visually impaired. And they did. They got me a bunch of records. I have Rashawn Roland Kirk and Al Hibbler, A Meeting of the Times. So I think I'll go out on that and then do another video later about Berthold Lowenfeld. He is really my hero. He was born in 1901 and he lived to 1904. He was born in Linz, Austria, and he started working at the Jewish School for the Blind in Vienna when he was 21. And he got out of Europe in 1938. He did a Rockafeller Grant and studied schools for the blind in America in the 30s, and then came back, got out, you know, before some bad stuff happened to him because he was Jewish. And there were some close calls, and he kind of escaped the Nazis. And then he worked for the American Foundation for the Blind, and he was the reason for all these innovations. So super cool. He came up with the idea of illustrating audiobooks with sound effects. That's very cool. He influenced the decision to use the LP format before it was commercially available. And AFB had this really cool research lab. Yep, this is the A-79, a beautiful little lime green plastic record player from the 70s. And I will just want to shout out Stereo Jacks on Mass Ave in Cambridge. And it also has a 1/4-inch headphone jack, so you could listen to it on headphones too. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I love it. Thank you for watching Charlie's Desk. These record players, they're going to open up a deeper exploration of talking books. Because now I can do that, and there's a ton of old talking books available. So that'll be cool. And really the theme of Charlie's Desk is all about access. Like, I love the creativity that is involved and the people who are involved in the creativity of making things available for people who need things differently. So I will go out with a little Rashawn Rowland Kirk and Al Hibbler, Meeting for the Times. This song is called Carney and Beggared Place. And I'm gonna play as long as I think I can play on the internet, and then I'll end the video. So thank you for watching Charlie's Desk. Did it work?